Alright guys, what's up? Welcome to my Subaru WRX rebuild and first flip. So this is part 2. Part 1 we went over all the damages and everything. And so now we've got new parts to install, and my goal by the end of this video is to get this car driving on the road with everything working. So as we know right now, we have no steering, damage in the back, damage in the front, a bent tie rod, a dented fender, and a missing side skirt. So all the parts needed to get this car driving hopefully will be the 2 parts right here. As you can see, we have this, which is the steering shaft to go from the firewall to the actual rack and pinion or steering rack. And secondly, we have the inner and outer tie rod to fix the bent tie rod on the right of the vehicle. So as you can see, these are pretty dirty and they're not brand new. This is because I want to save money so that I can sell this car and make more profits, so that I can then buy better cars and give you guys better flips. So this is kind of a stepping stone. Obviously you can see the tie rod here is dirty because I'm pretty sure this came off of a car with 30,000 miles. And then this, I have no clue how many miles it came off of, but it is in good condition. It's definitely in better condition than mine, which was broken in half. All right, so first thing is first is gonna be jacking up this side and putting a jack stand underneath so that I can lift both the front wheels up. As you can see, this one's on the ground, this one's lifted. So my goal is to have both of them up so that I can try to steer with my hands on the thing down here. And what I want to do is get the wheels as straight as possible for when I'm going to be linking them between here after I get a new outer tie rod on this side. I made that way more confusing than it didn't need to be. All you need to know is I'm going to be jacking up this side onto a jack stand, and I'm going to be replacing the outer tie rod, and then I'll guide you through the rest after. Okay, so I've temporarily put on the steering shaft down there just so that I can use it to turn by hand the wheel fully. I also removed this wheel. Now I have access to this tie rod, which you can see is badly bent. So remove the tie rod and then we will proceed with the next step. Alright guys, so we have the parts here. This is the tie rod that just came off of it, and this is the new one. Bad news is on this side right here, the part number on it is 7313, and on this one then you will see the part number is 4204, indicating these are not the same part. Don't worry, you guys are not gonna have to wait until the next video to be able to watch it steer correctly. I am going to postpone this post until after I receive it, I place it, and we get the car driving. The Florida sun is starting to set, but I don't want to leave this day unaccomplished, so I'm going to go ahead and knock out the steering shaft, and I'm going to line up the 2 wheels with the steering wheel, hopefully as best as I can. And you guys won't have to wait until the next video for me to put the tie rod in. I'm going to order it on eBay, and once it's ordered, I am going to install it in this video and get the car driving in this video. That took way longer than expected. As you can see, the sun is just about set. It's been, I'd say, a good hour, and I've left my Apple Watch on the radiator. So let me just kind of show you. So I've been trying to hold everything with tape to hold it straight. Here's the wheel, and in there you can see the shaft, and if I go ahead and turn the steering wheel, we can now turn the wheels. And I lined it up as best as I can, going tooth from tooth. And if you look here, it is half a circle, so this is full lock, and then half, one full, another full, and then another half, and that is supposedly center. All right guys, we have the new inner tie rod from Subaru OEM, because it turns out that theirs is $60 and on eBay it is $60 as well, or about $50. So it's a $10 difference, but I get one brand new part or a used part. I'd rather go with the brand new part for $10 more. So I have the part here. Here's the outer tie rod from this piece, same with the bolt, and same with the boot for the rack and pinion or steering rack. So this will no longer need, but I will use it in order to count threads on where to position the tie rod for here to make the alignment about correct. I will, at the end of this build, bring this car to a shop to get it professionally aligned and make sure everything's good. But for now, this will have to do. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put the new one on the car, and then we can go ahead and thread this in, put it onto the knuckle, and maybe take it out for its first drive. Alright guys, so it's officially on. We now have a brand new inner tie rod and the old outer tie rod with the bolt, the pin here, everything's all torqued up. I did adjust it to the original one and a little bit like more just to try to get it visually perfect with the back wheel. Now it's going to get professionally aligned, and same with this wheel, it'll get professionally aligned, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure it's something they can figure out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this wheel back on, and I need to make this car somewhat drivable with that. And also I think I'm gonna remove this completely because it's kind of just hanging on. I just kind of put it on there a little bit, and I'd rather just have it completely off than have it half on, half off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll get back to you guys. So we've got fender completely removed. The wheel is on, but it's still a little loose because I have to put it on the ground and tighten them. We have the jack right here. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna lower the car, get this wheel tightened back up, and then we'll be good. It's officially time for this car to go on the road for the first time since the accident. So here is kind of my zip tie job. So for this little thing, I kind of just put 2 zip ties together, put it around here. It's not going anywhere. For the wires, I kind of just zip tied it here. It's not going to touch the ground, which is what I was mostly concerned about. Same with this one. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the car's on the ground. I tightened up this wheel to make sure it's not moving. Alright guys, so we're officially driving the car. The steering is definitely very pulley, but again, we'll bring it to an alignment shop for that. But it's driving. We're back, and the car is doing good. So I did take out the auto again and try to clear the codes and see if they would come back. But check engine is on. I've still got the airbag and stuff, but most of these are from the actual clock spring, except for the check engine. I'm gonna look to see if I can figure out what's wrong with it on the auto and fix it. But other than that, except for my very bad shifts, the car runs really good. I also wanted to tell you guys, I have been looking on Marketplace for some new rims because these rims are absolutely battered. Here they have curb rash. Here this one has curb rash. If we go on this side, this one has some slight curb rash, and then this one has curb rash here, that has missing paint here, scratch here, big scratch right there, another scratch here. I mean, they're absolutely destroyed. But car's doing good. It's holding temperature perfectly. All right, so now it's the next day, and I want to wash the Subaru because it is absolutely filthy. If you look at it, I mean, it is just caked with just dirt. Also, another thing we have is the clock spring. I finally got one off of eBay. This clock spring is what brings power from the car onto the steering wheel in here. So the clock spring sits just about here behind the steering wheel, and that's what's gonna power all these buttons and the horn. Now, before you start critiquing my washing abilities, I am no detailer and nor am I a mechanic. I do this strictly because this is my passion. All right, so the car is now parked up. I do want to go ahead and remove the negative side of the battery just to prevent any issues happening. Since I am messing with the airbag, I don't want to accidentally get an airbag in my face. Also, this is just general knowledge for anybody who's interested. Battery terminals are safe to touch. You will not get electrocuted. And now I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Now the circuit is broken. I'm going to keep this away from the positive. You never want negative and positive to touch, and that should be good. All right, so after struggling for about, I don't even know how long, so these right here are the clips that hold in the actual airbag. So I have to go through the little holes right here, there's 3 of them, and kind of unpinch these, which holds onto this, which is near impossible. I just spent about 30 minutes trying to get those 3 little clips off. So now what we're gonna do, I already started taking this one out. These are the airbag wires. So took off the orange ones. The black one, you just kind of slip the screwdriver. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Boom, it pops out, and then you just go ahead and pull it out like a normal plug. So I just got back to the car, and I brought the tools because I wanted to bring the tools. And look in the back seats, I hear some noise. Nebraska, you like the Subaru? Okay, so we'll now be doing the work with my cat, Nebraska, in the background. But I have a Sharpie. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to mark out a line going both sides so that I can make sure to center the steering wheel once I do put it back on, because I don't want to obviously get it off center. And then I brought in this trusty tool, hopefully take it off quick and easy and get to the clock spring. All right, so I am no artist at all. Here are the lines I made. They're semi-straight. You know what? Not gonna win any beauty contest, but it's there, and I can just about see where it is, and I'll use this footage to be able to tell where it is exactly once I put the wheel back on. All right, so I've just loosened it, and it was honestly not too tight. It really just, I mean, it was tight, and then once you like get it off the first millimeter, it's just hand tightened. I guess this is machined to perfection. I can speak. So I guess now all there is to do is just to pull the steering wheel. I'm not sure. Let me go back on my tutorial and see what I'm doing wrong right now, because I'm definitely doing something wrong. Kind of wiggle and pull it. I'm not sure. got it. It was really stuck on there. I'm going to make sure not to rip out any of these wires. That was way scarier than I thought it was gonna be. Here it is, steering wheel. Now I think I've got to remove the plastic around here possibly. All right, so I removed the 2 screws. Hello, Nebraska. I think Nebraska wants to say hi. This is my little helper. It's Nebraska. Hello. He wants to leave now. He's been in here. He's just sat in here and now he's leaving. Oh, there he goes. And there's fur everywhere. All right, so disconnect these. Oh, there we go. Now I've got to, oh, right here looks like, oh, okay, I see. Right here, and then right here. There we go. And this is the clock spring. Here's the old clock spring. There is grease all over my hands because of it, but completely broken, no longer good. So, going to the bin. Okay, so I don't think you guys understand how much of a scare I just had. So, this is the new, new thing, and this is the old one, right? And as you can see, this has a big block with a white cord, and this one does not. So I thought I had the wrong part number. Turns out, if you look here, it has a bunch of like empty clips and stuff. And if you look here, these empty clips are what hold this thing that holds the box that holds this white. So what I think I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna take this, put it onto this one, and see if that works, because I really hope I don't have to buy a new one. The issue is that I'm having right now is if I put this one here and this one, you can see these are different. This one ends in FJ42 and this one ends in VA06. So I'm not sure. Apparently one is used on a older model or newer model. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to switch over the steering sensor. I think this is a steering angle sensor because it doesn't go onto this side. Let's switch them over, and if it still works, then that means that it's compatible. All right, here it is. I finally removed it from the old, and now I'm going to push it back into the new, and hopefully it'll still work. All right, so it is officially on. This is the new one. It rotates. I clipped it in, and it is all plugged in, including the steering angle sensor, which is what sends data to the car on just what angle the wheels are at. This helps with the ABS and traction control. Alright guys, so it's now 11:15, so I did take about like a 2-hour break in between to eat dinner with my family, and now I came back out. It's been about an hour. I've been working on it. I had a big issue with the steering angle sensor. It did not want to read correctly, but it's now reading perfectly with a trick that I kind of self-taught myself, and I don't even know if other people knew about it or used it. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the world, but it's pretty much, so the steering angle sensor has a certain amount that you can actually turn it before it'll like stop reading, and I turned it up to that point. I'm sure a bunch of people in the comments will say, oh, that's not how you're supposed to do it, but I turned it, so in this case it was 1043 degrees, and then it would stop reading. So I turned it to that much, unplug it, plug it back in, and it would go to like 800 or negative 800 automatically, which decalibrated it. But and for me, since it was already decalibrated, it actually helped me out. So with that, I was able to actually redo the actual like degree and get the steering wheel to look straight for the computer, and is straight in real life. So here, I'll take the light off. Here, the steering wheel is straight and the computer knows it's straight. I have a bunch of tools here. I had my Autel out. I mean, I've been at it for a little bit now, but it's finally finished. I am gonna put the car on a battery tender because I've had it on ignition mode for about an hour and a half now, so the battery is pretty low, and I have to go ahead and clean up. But it seems that the steering angle sensor did work. Hopefully it's gonna stay working for a bit. I really don't want to have to do that again. I really did not want to have to buy a new steering angle sensor. That would have just been super annoying. Thankfully I didn't, and I think the new clock spring that was different part numbers, I think it worked. All right guys, so it's now the next morning and I just did a scan on the complete system and there are no faults whatsoever on anything. So I mean, I'm gonna have to erase, so we're gonna go ahead and turn on the car. And see if all the lights disappear. And they did! The only one I have is the seatbelt and the brake. Oh my gosh. And if I go here, I can now go through the menu with this, which means the clock spring is working. Oh my gosh. You guys don't understand how nice it is to have no lights on the dashboard. What I did yesterday was 100% worth it. I don't have anything now, so I want to take it for a drive, see, just to make sure no new lights pop on, but I think we're good. All right guys, so it is later in the evening. I had to go to school and then I had to go work and everything, but here's my car. I'm not sure if I've shown my car yet, so here it is. It's my 1993 Volvo 960. Hi Nebraska, how are ya? And rims are inside, so this is why it's called meatballs. We're gonna go ahead and open her up. So here are the rims, brand new off of offer up. All of them are in good condition except for this one right here. You can see it has a little bit of road rash, and then I think one that's further back there has a chip. Wheels have, I'd say, about like maybe 45 percent life, maybe more or less. I mean, it's not, they don't look cracked or anything, so they're definitely still good. All right, so it's now another day yet again, but let me just show you where I put the rims. All right, so here are the rims. I've put them all here in the back of the Subaru. Made sure that it was all protected. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. It's gonna be the end of today's video. I'm super happy to have finally been able to drive this car. That was a very big accomplishment for this car, to be able to drive it on the road and correctly. Getting all the lights off the car was also a super big accomplishment, so I'm super happy I was able to do that. So now next step is body shop. I have the bumper and the fender that is on order, and they will be getting here soon. I will be reusing the side skirt, and I will be repainting also the rear bumper because of those deep scratches. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I mean, do what you gotta do, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.